Alright, welcome back to another hip-hop rap video. Now, I wanted to talk about why rap isn't everything when it comes to specifically music. Now, let me make it clear that a lot of people are mostly listeners. They're not going to pay attention to a lot of things. And sometimes there's going to be a lot of listeners that are more than likely to appreciate the art and appreciate the perspective and imagery of certain things. But then there's also a lot of them that just listen to the music because it's relatable to them. Now, there's a lot of relatability that is, one, very slow for the human mind, because even I'll have to admit that over the years, there were certain rappers that had fast flows. I just had to literally go back, go through lyrics and all that stuff. Bro, trust me, I had to do the same thing. You're not the only one. However, I have literally had to dial back because I realized that's too much for a listener, at least an average listener, that is more than likely to only listen for relatability, but at the same time, that is also willing to listen because, again, it's slow, it's fast-paced, and it makes sense and it's relatable to them. If you're that type of listener, I can't blame you for that. Because one thing for sure is that that's something you're willing to listen to. And you don't really focus that much on the constructive side of things. And sometimes it's not that simple for people to have these type of discussions within that. So we'll worry about that in another video. But all I'm going to say is that rap is not specifically made to last without a sound or anything like that, because at certain points it gets boring. And I know it's hard to admit, but it's also the truth. People need to understand that this is something that has to be part of not only something that is willing to be part of a sport, but also has to be entertaining too. It's also something that I kind of agree with when it comes to Sean C as well. I think he actually gave a good perspective on that, where people have a way of literally thinking that, oh, it's entertainment at the end of the day too, because you have to remember it has to be a sport and it has to be entertaining for the audience. And if it's just for example, a rap battle, do you know how much of that is not even fucking shown to the public? And the only reason it's not that shown to the public is because it's not entertaining enough for the human eye to understand. Punchlines, everything, they only will understand that if it's relatable to them. And that is something that I've said for quite a while, is that if it's not relatable to them, they're not going to listen to it. And that's another thing that I've kind of realized over time, is that if you're not related to the entire thing across the board, then it becomes a huge dilemma where everybody only listens to something that is relatable, and that type of dilemma will only carry with them over time. And that specific dilemma is kind of toxic, but also it's a good thing for some people. They're willing to listen depending on what you value in the community. So again, I have always said this, no matter what the consequences are in this particular scenario, is that you are required to listen to anything you want. That is something that you're willing to do, and you are free to fucking do that. So in that regard, that mindset doesn't work for rap battles. It doesn't work for the majority of average listeners. If you're talking about just average listeners, yeah, they're not gonna fucking agree with that on that. No, because again, their idea is that I have to listen to something simpler, something that is slowed down, and something that is more understanding. Rap battles at certain times are not really that understanding to a degree. And even that alone is not enough. Which is also why I said before, people love the subgenre of rap, but not rap as a whole. This is another thing that I've said before, that people love listening to a mixture of music. And there's certain people that will make critiques about only one aspect of an album, but never the whole album. You never ask these questions. Is the album good on theme? Is it good on imagery? Is it good on what they're trying to portray via on the album? Like, are they literally giving the message out and you're understanding it? And here's another question. Do you appreciate the artistry that is made within the imagery? And that's something that I think it's a very important question, because I think a lot of people don't understand. Rap, and especially music, is treated like an art. And if you're literally taking that art aspect away from it, it kind of boils down to a lot of things. But of course, within the average listener, they don't care about it. They care about relatability. But the art they're trying to literally give a perspective of is of their life. So of course they're not going to understand from an outside perspective. So again, there's only going to be a matter of perspective of things that matters within rap, but it only matters within the subgenre of rap. So, because again, for example, people favor trap more because trap is more of a club banging type of thing that people can literally listen to, because it's an average based type of thing, and it's relatable to a certain degree because people love listening to one basic lyrics, but also at the same time they appreciate the amount of production around said trap. They appreciate that. So this is what I was talking about when I said people don't understand that particular situation is not enough for an average listener. So of course, in that aspect, you have to expect that from a long mile. All I'm going to say is this, and please take this with a great amount of salt, please, and do not be disrespectful in the comment section, okay? Average listeners are more than willing to listen to everything, no matter what the consequences are, regarding their relatability, everything across the board. This is what makes rap the way it is now. You have average listeners, you have some that listens to lyrics, and you have some that are willing to listen to both and actually give opinions on it. So, in that regard, there's going to be at some point where that particular thing is more than likely to literally boil over with the rest of how rap is treated today. So, remember how people literally say that rap is generic, corny, and all that shit? It's because that people don't like trying to up rap to a certain degree. It's called being a try-hard in gaming term. So, whenever that shit happens, they double down because they don't like that type of complexity. That's something is completely off the fucking rails. And it's something that people are too lazy to even comprehend. And that tends to happen a lot, right? Especially when it comes to certain rappers. Now, I'm not talking about the underground dwellers. That is not what the fuck I'm talking about. So please do me a favor and walk away from this video. That's not who I'm talking to here. I am talking about the mainstream of trap. Even the other side of rap too. But that's besides the point. Now, I am saying this right now for people that need to understand this from a graphical standpoint of where their perspective is coming from. They don't want to put in the work and want to keep things simple. That's just how it is when it comes to average listeners. You gotta have to realize that at some point. That's just how it is in that particular perspective. So, please keep that in mind as you talk to people. Alright? Anyways, that's it, everybody. Bye.